for the people that are willing to put in their time and effort for you. And that's just the reality of life. And so, yeah, consistency has always been key as far as growing the podcast. Like I said, I showed up consistently for a week and a half or for a year and a half before anybody even really was paying attention. And then slowly we started to grow. And as it grew, it really started to catch fire and spread. And I feel blessed.
Right on. Yeah, it's like I'm guilty as so far as not connecting with your podcast every week, but I do when I can.
Well, thank you,
You
man.
know,
No,
I
and look,
do.
I understand. It's a lot of time, and I know that very few people. I mean, if there are, I know that there are people out there that do listen every week religiously.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
know people that find me now, 350 episodes in, and they go back and binge listen to the whole thing, which I feel blessed for that too. But the thing is this: I understand it's a time commitment. I just like, hey, if you like the guest that's on, you like the topic, tune in,
yeah.
and hopefully you win. You take something that you can kind of put into your life and change your life a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. And that's like, I haven't, well, as of right now, my podcast since April, when I've been at the radio station, my podcasts are only on my Facebook Live and my YouTube. I download it from Facebook Live, upload it to my YouTube. And soon I'm going to figure out a way, now that I have a new laptop, figure out a way to what program I can use to get the sound out of there and put it through my Anchor, and then it will be on audio for people to listen to.
Right.
But and it's just like that. I want to put it on as many formats as I can.
Yeah.
Uh,
Just so
you
you know,
know,
that's super easy to do.
okay,
Yeah. Couple
but
couple Google searches will get you there.
right on, right on. That was my next step. I just haven't done it yet.
Yeah.
um, but and that's just it. So far as putting it on, you know, reaching as many formats as possible would be possibly reaching more people, which would be, just that opportunity to help, be of service.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's what my podcast is about, adding making positivity and gratitude louder.
That's it. That's it, man. It's super important. But yeah, man, I've loved your journey, right? Like, and I know you feel like you haven't made the progress that you wanted to and everything, but your mindset is so strong and unwavering, right? And that's the key to being a champion. It's having that unwavering mindset of knowing why you're here, of knowing your purpose, of moving forward no matter the setback, no matter the things that we encounter. It's about moving forward. And that's something that you're doing, man. And you're doing it through the podcast, you're doing it through your daily actions, you're doing it through your journaling, all these things. If you continue to do it and find a way to serve that audience, then all of a sudden the money's going to flow, man. And I'm excited to see that happen next. And next time we talk, I want to know that some money's flowing into your life as well, because that's when everything really starts to change big time.
Yeah. All right. Well, cool. Thank you. Yeah, definitely. I'll, definitely work on taking the next steps toward that happening. So that you won't have to wait that long.
Yeah, hopefully we don't have to wait that long. Hopefully we're talking in 6 months from now, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But even if it is a longer time than that, then that's just more of an awesome journey.
That's it, man.
Yeah,
Hey, look, it's not, and look, I'm not. When we talk about my journey, I don't want to paint this pretty picture like even like things are super easy now. Like I still
yeah.
have the setbacks. Like you have
Oh,
to
yeah.
understand that like COVID came and completely had me shift my business. The live event went away. I lost 6 or 7 speaking engagements, paid speaking engagements. Like things are still rocky, but it's about being operating at that higher level to say, okay, cool. Now how do I overcome this? How do I create the next thing in my life to impact lives and really fill my cup as much as I possibly can?
Yeah. Right on. Right on. Well, all right. Well, it looks like it's about that time. I'm gonna have to wrap this up here. Uh, but I just want to say thank you very much for coming on, and you have an amazing story, and I love what you've done with the Growth Now movement and the podcast, and thank you so very much for the tips, and you know, education, if you will, into podcasting. And, I hope to grow my podcast, uh, maybe not growth now, but growth over the next few months. And, yeah, we'll say that Positive Vibes is now the growth over the next 6 months podcast.
Dude,
Psych.
I love it, man. I love it. Shane, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to have a chat with me. And hopefully somebody's paying attention and they heard one or two things that they really liked. And honestly, like if they liked everything that I've talked about or some of the things I talked about, I'd love it if they checked out my podcast in the meantime, the Growth Now Movement. Follow my journey over there. They just have to click the subscribe button on iTunes or Spotify or all the things, Pandora, iHeartRadio, wherever they listen to podcasts. Check mine out, man. But this conversation's been great. It's been great connecting with you again, and hopefully we'll talk soon.
Yeah, right on. All right, well, take care, and you have a great day, Justin.
Thanks, man.
All right, bye-bye. And thank you very much for tuning in to this week's episode of Positive Vibes. And as always, stay kind, optimistic, and grateful, and have a phenomenal day and phenomenal week. Ciao. I'm out. And that was it. That was my Zoom call that I had with Justin Schenck the other day. Yeah, there was a mix up or something at work, and anyway, I had the day off, and anyway, I had the day off, so we were able to connect right then since he had the time free, and we scheduled the call, got it done. So yeah. Anyway, it was just such an awesome experience to be on that call with Justin, and get that, like I said that there at the end of the call, get those tips and that education on podcasting from him, and it's that's the modern way of things, I guess, if you will, with those terms. Technology and podcasting, media, social media, just getting on there and being consistent with it. Like I've stated to, people in my life, when I'm talking about my podcast, it's helped me so much, just to be, having making the requiring myself to do it on a weekly basis. Well, it's helped so much being here at the station. I have forced myself to, fill my time slot every week, instead of, having something else to do or whatever. And, I'll just play an old episode, and I can't do that. I got to keep on the ball, and it's just be consistent. That's been so helpful if I look at it, in pretty much every aspect of my life, just being consistent with everything. Otherwise it sort of falls by the wayside in place of new stuff. I don't know. Yeah, I guess that's where that goes. But it's just such a journey being on this, living this life, but being on this journey, ever since I've, been doing this here. Started my podcast on my phone a couple of years ago, and it's like having guests, calling guests using the app on my phone, and now it's like upgraded to having, being on Zoom calls with them, and connecting on the audio and the video at the same time. And it's just amazing the benefits of technology and how we can connect with people all over the world like that. And going back to something Justin and I were talking about, connecting with you know, the audience and being of service, helping people. You know, the possibility of helping people is just goes back to being consistent. You know, you never know who you're gonna. If you're into doing a podcast or a show, you know, you never know who you're gonna miss connecting with if you miss a show, or, you know, like, yeah, you know, it's sort of like if I miss a show, then maybe, you know, possibility that the person who may have connected with my show that week and heard something they needed to hear to help them out, you know, or whatever the case may be, you know, what they may have heard on my show, they won't hear, and they'll be, you know, watching some other show, and, you know, maybe they won't you know, hear anything positive. Anyway, yeah, I'm trying to word that correctly, but it's not coming to mind. That's the best way I can word it right now. But at any rate, it's looking like it's about that time, and for me to wrap it up. So I'm just going to say I hope you enjoyed my recorded Zoom call this week, and with Justin Schenck. You can check him out at. You can go to check out his page on Instagram. He's at Justin T. Schenck. That's Justin, the letter T, and then Schenck is Schenck. And that's at Justin T. Schenck on Instagram. And I think it's at GNM Podcast on Instagram, also for the Growth Now Movement podcast. Or I forget the address, but I forget the site address, but yeah, you can just Google Growth Now Movement podcast is the easiest way to say it, and check out all the formats that it's available on. And as for that, I'm just going to say, stay kind, optimistic, and grateful. And I hope you have a phenomenal day and a phenomenal week. Until next time, I'm out.
Ecos de la Comunidad. Ahora voy a estar sirviéndote a ti, pero también con más cobertura en BD Radio Universal. No se desconecte. Ecos de la Comunidad, en donde los lunes y los viernes de pronto vamos a estar aquí.